Before we start off this video, I just know for a fact this video is going to get bombarded with dislikes and likes, etc. Well, let it be it, I suppose. As you can read by the title, today, well, this month is a special month, some would say. It is Pride Month. It is a month full of joy, full of love, full of other things that you could say. And I wanted to make a video about this yet again. But before I actually started, I want to quickly say, before anyone calls me out in the comments about my opinion in this video, I posted something a few weeks ago on my Instagram and I took it out of context. The video was taken out of context where a woman was at a LGBTQ plus protest screaming, and I naturally thought, this is fucking hilarious. This is funny. Why is this woman having a outburst in public? Well, it turned out actually that woman had a reason for that, because people were being horrible, rude to her, at least is what the comments said. I have deleted the video, just for you wondering, because I got a lot of backlash, and rightfully so, because as someone who has autism, as someone who knows what it's like getting discriminated, not being accepted, I should know better, and I do. So I want to say that's not happening anymore. So an interesting thing I wanted to share with you. Did you know, by the way, in 2002, the Netherlands was one of the first countries in the world that actually accepted gay marriage? Did you know that? You probably didn't know that. Well, now you know. We were one of the first countries to introduce gay marriage, meaning that if you are a woman, you like women, you can marry. If you are a man and you like men, you can marry. And another thing I want to quickly say, and this is kind of heavy, maybe it's because European whatsoever, but in Uganda, or somewhere in Africa, in the continent of Africa, they've actually banned homosexuality. And if I'm gonna be honest, that's pretty fucking sad if I'm gonna be really honest. Because that means that people out there cannot express themselves in public without having to think of, I'm gonna get killed. Because people laugh and joke about it like, oh man, W Uganda, W this and that. But it's actually very sad. Could you imagine being in a country like that where you can't express your emotions and feeling about, hey, I like men, or hey, I like women? They don't go to prison. No, they get killed and tortured there. Are very sensitive because the one person has this opinion and says, oh yeah, I support it completely. The other person says, nah, I do not support it at all. So it's really a big clash, if you get what I mean. As someone like I've mentioned who has autism, I understand completely what it's like getting not accepted within society. If you're wondering, no, I have never considered, and this is me being very honest and open right now, I've never considered wanting to become a transgender. Just to let you know, I've actually had people ask me like, yo bro, have you ever felt like you wanted to become a female? And I say, no dude, I'm gonna be very honest, respectfully, I like having a penis. That's my simple answer. When I was 14, 15 years, and that's really the age of when you are a kid, you're going to be experimenting what you like, the type of clothing you're going to wear, the type of people you're going to associate yourself with, and you're going to also basically study what gender you're into. Now, for me, it was very difficult as a kid. And this is something I'm not necessarily embarrassed about explaining. I've just never really said it because it didn't interest me. But when I was 14, 15, I had difficulties finding out what I liked. I knew for a fact I like women, but I was also somewhere in between. Like, there was this guy in my school, and I really thought he was attractive. Like, I felt attracted to him in some way. I liked how he looked, and I liked him as a person. I never opened up and told him like, hey, I like you more than just a friend, because I used to speak to him occasionally. I never opened up to him because, well, I was a bit embarrassed, I guess you could say. I was what, 15, 14 maybe? And now I look back at it, it was like, you all have to go through certain phases in your life. Now, many years later, I've come out to the conclusion that, hey, I like women. I am straight. I used to think maybe, am I in between? But after doing some experiments, etc., I'm straight. Now, this is a question I also receive very often. Doesn't matter if it's Pride Month or whatsoever. People often ask me, do I ever consider seeing myself with a trans person? And the answer is no. I would never, and I could simply never date a trans person. And it is not because I do not like trans people. It is not because I hate gay people before you even comment like, oh my god, he don't like gay people. You want to know something bizarre? I got gay family myself. Yes, my best friend used to be gay. I did never know it until he told me, and I didn't care simply because I was like, alright, cool, you're gay, dude. Cool, man. It is what it is. I mean, I still see you and look at you as my best friend. Alright, cool. You just like guy. Okay, that's cool. Ain't nothing with it. Just as long as you don't do no such stuff with me, I'm cool with it. And I told him as well, like, listen, as long as you don't touch me inappropriate and do stuff like that, that I'm totally fine with you being gay. I have nothing against it. And when he told me, he was very shocked. I said, dude, we've known each other for 10 years. Why would I not accept you for you and what you are? It would be a part of me. I couldn't get over the fact that the person is trans, is transitioned into whatever they are transitioned in, male or female. I would have difficulties accepting that, like, hey, this person was once, etc., and now this person is, etc., right? Now, before any of you comment down below and say, maybe you should do like a LGBTQ roleplay, no, I'm not going to be doing any of that because, well, let me just be honest right now. I posted something on my ASMR channel a few days ago, and the comments, it's like Autism Awareness Day on the 4th of April. The whole purpose and meaning behind it, just like Pride Month, although it's similar, but Pride Month is an entire month dedicated to, etc. But Autism Awareness Day is also sort of similar in a way of it's there so that people can acknowledge us autistic people and look at us as regular people. Like I've mentioned, I've been also discriminated my entire life, basically. People not accepting me for who I am, you know, as an autistic person. And it's nice to have a day that actually makes you feel like, okay, it's an extra special day. And that's it. And it's the same with Pride Month. It is not a week, it's not a day, it's a full entire month dedicated towards it. I made a video actually about this 2 years ago, but we used to have a trans person in our class, and it's a very interesting story I want to share with you as well. This is the reason why I, support it. And on the other hand, 50-50. I'm going to get into that just now, and I'll tell you why. I have nothing against it, like I mentioned, right? So we had this person in our class. He was a guy. His name was Nino. And he wasn't really often at school, but the times he would come to school, I would often ask myself, why is this guy wearing skirts? Why is this guy wearing feminine shoes? In the back of my mind, I was thinking, huh? I'm confused. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to ask him because it's none of my business, right? So after a while, he wanted to talk to us in class, and he said, I need to tell you guys something. I said, what's up? I am trans. So, you can imagine the quietness in a room. I think we were, what, 16, 17, maybe? Nah, yeah, 16, 17. And we were like, okay, cool, dude. We already sort of knew something was going on with him. But it was cool. He was a bit of a strange dude, not because he was trans, but he used to talk about some odd stuff, dude. Like, he used to often bring up the occasional, I bought a butt plug. He even took a butt plug with to school multiple times. And we had to tell him, like, listen, we do not appreciate that. We don't mind you being in our class. We accept you and respect you for who you are, but we also ask you to not do those things to us because we feel very uncomfortable. Yeah, he was trans. He transitioned from a male to female, and this is 4 or 5 years ago. But I'm also going to be honest and tell you some things I distance myself from. And that is when kids get involved into the adult conversation, because at the end of the day, this is not a topic that I feel like is appropriate to really discuss with a 4 or 5 or 6, 7-year-old, etc., right? I feel like it's different when a child is 15, 16 years, like I mentioned. That's the age where children really get to experiment, like, hey, what do I like? What do I associate myself with? Whatever, right? But when a child is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I feel like this type of topic shouldn't really be discussed with a child. We don't talk about this topic at our home because we feel like my sister in this case should be able to explore and experience what she likes to grow up with later. At 13, 14, 15, I want her from out of her own reach out to, hey, this is what I like. I don't want to teach her things or say, hey, this and that. I want her to discover the world. Though that's a part where I'm also like, kids get involved, very, very tricky in my opinion. You know what I mean? You've got my support, but I feel like when you involve kids in it, depending on the situation, and depends on what topic, obviously, for me, it's a no-go. I always say protect the kids as much as possible, because kids, they have to be protected, because unfortunately, the truth is, when it comes to kids are very easy to not, how do I say it? It's a certain word, but kids are very easy, not to manipulate, I don't want to say that, but kids are very easy to convince. You can convince a child very easy. Let's say, for example, if you say, oh man, a certain race of people are bad people, and you teach a kid that at a young age, it's highly likely that kid will stick with it forever and not grow up and actually experience what it's like really being around that type of race or culture, you know what I mean? So that's when I feel also like kids should be in, a no thing in most cases. Is pride a personality? Theory #4. Authentic pride is a state emotion that occurs in response to a specific eliciting event. Whereas, what are these words? Wow. Whereas hubristic pride is a personality trait that describes an individual who has a tendency to experience pride across situations over time. You see, you gotta have a high IQ to understand what this shit means. Because I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm also not educated really on this topic or on this thing in general. So if you want to tell me some stuff in the comment below, then do let me know. Where's the biggest pride in the world? Oh, for real? In 2022, the most recent NYC Pride March event took place. The Sao Paulo Gay Pride. I didn't even know. Damn, I didn't even think Brazil celebrated that. Brazil is South America's largest event and is listed by Guinness World Record as the world's largest pride parade, starting in 2006 with 2.5 million. So, we got some South Americans, huh? I didn't know that. Is pride an evil? Okay. Wow, what a question. Pride alienates from God, whether consciously. Okay, I cannot read them, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Does pride make you happy? Well, that depends on if you want it to make you happy, I suppose. Oh yeah, is Amsterdam known for partying? The city is most commonly known as the party capital of the Netherlands for obvious reasons. Amsterdam is a city with its preceding reputation virtually bigger than the city itself. So yeah, Pride Month in Amsterdam is also very big. I can imagine it's probably a lot of fun, but I can also imagine that people may not like the fact that Pride Month is in Amsterdam because it takes over the entire city. And it really does, I don't want to say necessarily ruin your experience, but if you want to have a nice week or a few days in Amsterdam, then I advise you to make sure you don't go in June because you can't walk there. Simply that, you will not be able to really experience everything you may want to. How do you deal with a proud girlfriend? What does this have to do with Pride Month? This is just, how do you treat a girl romantically? How to make an arrogant girl fall in love with you? What makes a girl proud? What? Now obviously, when you do such a Pride Month, meaning you get a lot of negative stuff as well, and I feel like the media also portrays it in some form negative because it's positive and negative in depending on what state and what country. And that's also a thing I want to just quickly say before we end the video. A lot of people seem to not understand or do not want to simply understand what I've come from is certain religions cannot simply accept Pride Month or homosexuality. They unfortunately, and I say unfortunately, but then it's also like they can't do anything about the fact that their religion doesn't allow them. Because I can guarantee you there are so many people out there that actually have nothing against it, but if they openly express their opinion on it, they'll get killed. And people often don't seem to understand that. In some countries and in a lot of religions, you can't express your emotion and opinion like you can in your country, for example. Like in Pakistan, for example, you don't talk about topics like that. You go to South Africa, you do not speak about this topic at all wherever you go because SA is also one of many countries that simply does not like it. They don't, really. And it doesn't mean that all South Africans don't like, etc. Not at all. But from my experience and what my parents have told me back in their time, being gay in South Africa, yes, it was a thing, but you did not speak about it to anyone because horrible stuff had happened to you. And obviously in a lot of places, even in the Netherlands, you can't always open express your opinion. Now what do I find about that? I find it sad because if you're gay, you're gay. Well, what can you do about it? Who am I to tell like you cannot be with a guy or no, you cannot be with a female? It ain't up to me. If that's what you like, then that's what you like. But then yet again, not all countries think like that. So I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I hope I was considerate enough in this video. Let the comments flood in. Honestly, I want to know what you think about Pride Month. And interesting enough, I got a few gay people on my Snapchat, and I all asked them a question like, hey, what do you think about Pride Month? And to my surprise, majority of them actually said they don't celebrate it or they don't think it's that big of a deal. They think it's stupid, which is their words. And it's very interesting how they and why to think about that. So let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you Thursday with a new video. Peace out.